Dear students, welcome to this video lesson. In this lesson, let me introduce intonation, its types, usage, examples. This lesson will be very useful for facing spoken English theory and practice exam, and you will understand the nuances of intonation and its usage. Definitely, the better use of intonation will sharpen your pronunciation skills and you will make a difference. So now let's enter into the lesson. First, let me introduce what is an intonation. So when we speak in general, there are two things. One is what do we speak? Another one is how do we speak? What do we speak is all about the content we have. For example, if you are talking about a house, so that is the content. But how do we speak? So that is when we raise our tone, sometimes the voice falls. So this is concentrating on the intonation. So intonation means how do we say things in our day-to-day conversation. So content is what do we speak. So that we are not talking about that in this lesson. We are concentrating on how do we talk about certain things. So that's all about intonation. It is nothing but just rise and fall of our tone while we are speaking. So there are two types of intonations. One is falling intonation. Another one is rising intonation. If you take example in a sentence, falling intonation is marked like this, right? So the rising intonation is marked like this. So these are the basic templates available in phonetics. Now, so in what are the ways we use falling intonation? For example, so what happens when we use falling intonation? So when we speak, our voice falls at the end. When we speak, if our voice falls at the ends, or if the voice goes down, that is called falling intonation. Next, let me introduce what are the occasions in which we use falling things. First one is statement. So when we make a statement, we use falling intonation. Then we order. So when we command, we use falling intonation. Then I'll explain one by one with the examples. So when we ask WH questions, seeking information, then we use falling intonation. Then when we ask, see normally question tags are used in rising intonation. But if we want to confirm certain things, so by asking the tag questions, then we use falling intonation. Then exclamation. So exclamation, surprise, all these things. So at that time we use falling intonation. So these are the five things in which, or five occasions in which we use falling intonation. So first let me introduce statements. Statements means ordinary sentence. For example, nice to meet you. So nice to meet you, it should be mentioned like this. For example, here if you read the sentence, naturally at the end your voice will fall. So this is nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Second one, I'll be back in a minute. I'll be back in a minute, right? So here also we use fall. See, any kind of sentence which falls under the category. So there is SVO, SV, IO, DO, all these things. So we use statements. They are all ordinary statements which take falling intonation. The next one, she doesn't live here anymore. She doesn't live here anymore. So here we have falling intonation. Dad wants to change his car. Dad wants to change his car. So again, a falling intonation. The next one, here is the weather forecast. Here is the weather forecast. So here, especially the last word, it goes down. Next one, cloudy weather is expected at the end of the week. Cloudy weather is expected at the end of the week. So ordinary statements, they take falling intonation. We should work together more often. We should work together more often. So even if you do not conscious of what do we speak, naturally our sentence will fall at the end. So you'll be using falling intonation. So I'm going for a walk in the park. I'm going for a walk in the park. So here naturally you're falling intonation. Next, let me introduce commands. Actually, this is the one where many students commit mistake because normally, so take the book, so like that, so in our tone, psychologically speaking, we think, so we order, so our voice will raise. So in the intonation, we have to concentrate on the end of the last word. Then let's see how things work here. Write your name here. It comes here. Write your name here. So at the beginning in command, at the beginning only we raise our tone, we raise our voice. Whereas at the end the voice goes down. Show me what you have written. Show me what you have written. So this is the typical sentence used by the teacher. Leave it on the desk. Leave it on the desk. Even at the beginning, if you raise your voice, at the end, naturally, it falls down. Take the picture down. So take the picture down. It is mentioned like this. Throw that out. Throw that out. See, so when you say throw, so probably it may rise. But for this intonation type exercise, we have to concentrate only the end. Put your books on the table. Put your books on the table. So here it goes down. Take your hands out of your pockets. Take your hands out of your pockets. Naturally, this also goes down. So from these examples, it is visible. So for commands or order, so falling intonation is used. WH question, so in which we request information. They also take falling intonation. So especially when the questions begin with who, what, why, where, when, which, and how. So all these words take, if a question begins with these words, then it takes falling intonation. What country do you come from? What country do you come from? What's your name? Right? So what's your name? So falling intonation. Then we have where do you work? So where do you work? So at the beginning we raise. So that should not be considered. Where do you work? So it is the falling intonation. Which of them do you prefer? Which of them do you prefer? So that is falling intonation. So who will win the IPL this time? Who will win the IPL this time? So this is also falling intonation. So from this, we understand all the questions that begin with what, when, so who, how. So all these question words, if the sentence begin or question begin, they take falling intonation only. Next, we have tag questions. So tag questions will take both types of intonation, falling intonation and rising intonation. Whereas especially, so when we confirm certain things with the help of tag questions, such questions will take falling intonation. I repeat, so tag questions will take both types of intonations, rising and falling. But when we ask a tag question for confirmation purpose, then such type of tag questions will take falling intonation. Let me give you an example. First, he thinks he's so clever, doesn't he? Right? Doesn't he? So we know, so the understanding is we know somebody is thinking of himself as clever. So we confirm that with certain person. So we pronounce it like this. He thinks he is so clever, doesn't he? Let me give you another example. You will understand it in a better way. She's such a nuisance, isn't she? Right? She's such a nuisance, isn't she? That means both the speaker and listener know that someone is a nuisance. So one person confirms that fact with the other one. Let me give further examples on that. I failed the test because I didn't revise. Did I? I failed the test because I didn't revise. Did I? So because you yourself know the reason for failing in the examination. So you confirm the fact with yourself. Next one. It doesn't seem to bother him much, does it? It doesn't seem to bother him much, does it? So this also a fact which we know. So it also takes falling intonation. Exclamations. So we know exclamation mark is it is done like that. So whenever a sentence ends with exclamation mark, so naturally that takes falling intonation. So let me introduce those things. So how nice of you. So a shortcut is whenever you find this exclamation mark at the end of the sentence, you go for the selection of falling intonation. How nice of you. So you yourself can practice like that. So that's just what I need. That's just what I need. What a beautiful voice. What a beautiful voice. That's a surprise. That's a surprise, right? That's a surprise. Or that is a surprise. So this also comes down. So now we have completed the first set. So what are the occasions in which, or what are the places in which we use falling intonation? Now we are going for the discussion of rising intonation. So on paper, rising intonation is mentioned like this. So what happens when we go for rising intonation? The pitch of the voice rises at the end of a sentence. So one interesting fact is the rising intonation invites the speaker to continue talking. So what's your name? Someone asks. So that says John. So it's over. But whereas when we use rising intonation, that forces the speaker to respond. It is normally used with yes or no type questions, question tags, or some of the other aspects. Now let me introduce one by one. First, yes or no type questions. So yes or no type questions means when you ask that yes or no type question, so that will invite the answer either yes or no. So let me give an example. Do you like your new teacher? So do you like your new teacher? So the voice rises. Have you finished already? Have you finished already? May I borrow your dictionary? May I borrow your dictionary? Do you have any magazines? Do you have any magazines? Do you sell stamps? Do you sell stamps? So these are the questions. They invite the answer either yes or no. So naturally, as per the rule, it invites an answer from the listener. Further examples, can I pay by phone pay? Can I pay by phone pay? Did you attend the training yesterday? Did you attend the training yesterday? Are they twins? Are they twins? Can you drive? Can you drive? So when we ask these yes or no type questions, naturally they take rising intonation. Then question tags that show uncertainty and require an answer. So dear students, I'd like to draw your attention to the usage of question tags. Already in the part of falling intonation, So when a question tag is asked to confirm things, that will take falling intonation. All other types of question tags will take only rising intonation. We have met already, haven't we? We have met already, haven't we? You like fish, don't you? You are a new student, aren't you? The view is beautiful, isn't it? So I hope you get the point here. We have met already, haven't we? You like fish, don't you? So you are a new student, aren't you? The view is beautiful, isn't it? So here it takes the rising intonation. Now we have another category, rise fall or fall rise intonation. Rise fall and fall rise intonation. So especially when we go for choices, alternative questions. So we have the first part as rising intonation and the second part as falling intonation. Look at the first example here. Are you having soup or salad? Are you having soup or salad? I hope you get the things. So far, in each and every sentence that we discussed, there was only one intonation, either fall or rise. Now we have two within the same sentence. Are you having soup or salad? Is John leaving on Thursday or Friday? Is John leaving on Thursday or Friday? Does he speak German or French? Is your name Maria or Jane? So here these are the examples. So just keep it in your mind like that. When you have two choices in a sentence, first choice will take rising intonation and the second choice will take falling intonation. Then another interesting type. So when we go for enumeration or list, so except the last word, all other intonation, all other words will take rising. So rise, rise, rise and fall. The last alone will have the falling intonation. Now let me give you the example. We have got apples, grapes, bananas and oranges. So let me give. So we have got apples, we have got grapes, bananas and oranges. It goes like that. The sweater comes in blue, white, pink and black. So I like football, tennis, basketball and volleyball. I bought a t-shirt, a skirt and a handbag. So here the number of lists change. So in each list there are 3 or 4 or 5, but only one rule. Only the last word, last option will take falling intonation, whereas the rest of the options will take only rising intonation. Let me give one more different type of example. Gold, platinum, silver are very precious metals. So here some students used to find difficulty regarding this sentence because gold, platinum, silver. So with that it is over. But whereas metals also together it comes under the same category. So it goes like that. Gold, platinum, silver are very precious metals. So only the last word metals will take falling intonation. Then we have got conditional sentences. Conditional sentences means so the if clause, right? So the here it is very simple. The first part or the conditional part will take the rising intonation, whereas the consequent part, so the fulfilling part will have the falling intonation. For example, so if he calls, right? If he calls, ask him to leave a message. If he calls, ask him to leave a message. Unless he insists, I am not going to go. Unless he insists, it is the sentence is not complete. I am not going to go. If you have any problems, just contact us. If you have any problem, just contact us. So the first part, conditional part, takes the rising tone, whereas the fulfilling part, consequent part, takes the falling intonation. So this is a tricky category. Unfinished thoughts, unfinished thoughts, or partial statements. Do you like my new handbag? Well, the leather is nice. See, someone comes and asks you, so how is my dress? You want to respond. But if you are not convinced that dress is good, then how will you say, yes, your dress is beautiful, but the color is... So you'll be just stumbling to respond naturally. So when you have unfinished or partial statements, so that will take, before the first part takes the rising intonation and the next part takes the falling intonation. Look at the next example. What was the meal like? The fish was good. And what about this mobile phone? The mobile's features are good, but the display is not that much big. See, the first part rises when we start, but naturally there is a fall. So you both live in Madras or Los Angeles. Well, Alex, when you are not able to convey the thought properly, naturally, so the first part will take the rising intonation and the last part will take the falling intonation. Then we have fall rise intonation. So this happens within one word. Please understand. So far, our discussion was based on sentences. So now we have fall rise intonation. So manually, if you do it, it comes like this, right? It comes like that. It starts fall, then it goes here next. So the main purpose of this fall rise intonation is to show the speaker certain things are not proper, and when we go for suggestion, so these are the things are used. Let me give you samples. So you would be willing to confirm that, well, I suppose, so here hesitation is there. How didn't, how didn't see him on Monday? You didn't see him on Monday. I don't quite remember. So when you have doubt, so when you want to use a specific word which indicates your doubt, then you will see it is not the normal stress pattern. So within the word, you will have the fall and rising intonation. Now we have come to the last but interesting part of the lesson. So we may use three different types of tonal variation. So when we use a particular noun or a word, sometimes we may use it in a sense of recognition. Sometimes in the sense of surprise we may use. Sometimes it may be a kind of sense of aversion. So first one, when we have the recognition, so you happen to see your friend after many years, but you are not sure someone is that person. Nancy, right? Like Nancy, you are Nancy, right? So we studied together. So here it takes the falling intonation. The next one, surprise. So when you happen to see your friend after many years, so naturally the surprise element comes. Nancy. So Nancy. So the surprise element comes. Then the third one is the tricky one. So that is sense of aversion takes rise and fall intonation. So it takes rise and fall intonation. Nancy, say Nancy, John, right, right, Nancy, Nancy. So here you express your hatred towards it. Dear students, hope the lesson was very useful. In the video, I have discussed all the important features of intonation and its usage. All the best for your examination. I'll meet you in the next video lesson. Thank you.